Hi friends, I welcome you all at Crack Grade B in the video lecture series of economic and social issues. Today we are going to cover demographic dividend and what are the issues and concern for India to utilize full potential of this demographic dividend in India. And this video lecture series is based upon the question and answer format, and it is very important for RBI Grade B exam. So our first question for today is, what do you understand by demographic dividend? And compare the demographic dividend of India with the other country. So while writing these types of questions, first you will define what is the definition of this demographic dividend. Demographic dividend is the specific variable driving the demographic dividend is the ratio of the working age population to the non-working age population. For example, we can say that working age population to the non-working age population. Working age is between 15 to 59 and non-working age 1 to 15 years and 59 and above. This is the ratio. So demographic dividend is the ratio of the working age population to the non-working age population. But why this is important? Both the level and the growth of the working and non-working population ratio have a positive impact on the economy. If the ratio will be higher, then the economic growth will be higher. This is a typical chart diagram for India, for Korea, for China and Brazil. China has already acquired a peak in 2001 and 2002. Korea acquired the peak of demographic dividend between 1990 and 2000. India is utilizing this demographic dividend between 2020 to 2030. The most important point to be noted here is that this graph is very long. I mean to say here is that the demographic dividend in India will be last longer till 2050. We have not acquired any peak, but this curve is very stagnant, and in upcoming 20 to 30 years we are able to utilize the benefit of this demographic dividend. Now, as I have already told you that India's demographic cycle is about 10 to 30 years, between 2020 to 2050. So, as compared to other countries, it indicates that the next few decades present an opportunity for India to catch up to their per capita income levels. Okay, now this is the compare between the India and the other country. India's working age population to non-working age population is ratio is likely to be peak in the early 2020 and 30. It means in upcoming 9 years we are getting the peak of this demographic dividend, and it will be at 1.7, which is much lower than the peak level of the Brazil. That is 1.287 here. In late 2010 decade in China, it was 2.35, and in 2010 decade, both of which sustained a ratio greater than 1.7. I mean to say here is that India will remain close to the peak for much longer period, that is between 2020 to 2050. And this incremental growth boost due to the demographic change of India in the 2020 is estimated to be about 1.8 percentage points. So this is the difference. We can say in short that China, Brazil and Korea has already got their demographic dividend peak, but India has the opportunity to utilize this potential. So India will approach within 2 to 3 years the peak of its demographic dividend. It may be between 2030, 24, 25, or we can say in longer term between 2020 to 2030. So this does not mean that demographic dividend will turn negative thereafter, rather the positive impact will slow. The graph of India's demographic dividend will move like this. We are not getting peak just like China, but it will be stagnant. So it is a longer term. It is a basic difference between the other country and India. Now, what is the second question for today? What are the challenges and opportunities faced by the India in demographic dividend? We have to find out the challenges and opportunities. There are various challenges faced by the India. In this question, we will talk about only the challenges, not opportunity. In next question, we will talk about the opportunities. There are various challenges faced by the India. The first one is gender imparity. As we know that as the demographic dividend will increase, we are not able to translate the female literacy into the relevant marketable skills. Lack of flexible entry and exit policy for women into a virtual classroom and into modulus of open digital training and vocational education limit access to the contemporary vocations. I mean to say here is that education level of a woman is not up to the mark that they can translate their education into the marketable skills. So we have to take care of this challenge, and if we want to sort out this challenge, we have to think about the literacy policy of the woman. Just like STEM, vocational training for the woman, industrial training for the woman. These can some measures which can taken for improvement in gender parity in terms of demographic dividend. Now, second challenge is enhancing human capital. Human capital means skilled labor, skilled employee. It is the responsibility of our government that if they want to utilize full potential of this demographic dividend, they have to take care of this part, skilled labor and skilled employee in India. According to the ASSOCHAM, only 20 to 30% of engineers find a job suited to their skills. For example, if I talk about the engineering, mechanical engineers doing job in information technology, electronics engineer is doing his job in mechanical engineering, a graduate from commerce side is doing job in IT sector. So this is the challenge which we are facing for utilizing full potential of this demographic dividend in India. So it is a big challenge. According to the a report, India ranked 130 out of 189 country in United Nations Development Programme's Human Development Index, which is alarming. Now we talk about the life expectancy at birth in India, that is 68 years, is much lower than the other developing countries. So the mean year of schooling and expected year of schooling is also a big challenge. These all are the dimensions which can be converted into the opportunities for utilizing the full potential of this demographic dividend. So gender imparity and enhancing human capital, it is a big challenge. Jobless growth. As we all know that there is mounting concern that future growth could turn to be jobless due to deindustrialization and deglobalization. It is the fourth industrial revolution and technological progress. As per the NSSO Periodic Labour Force Survey 2017 and 18, India's labour force participation rate for the age group of 50 to 59 years is around 53%. 47%, nearly 50% of our workable population is jobless. We have to think about this jobless growth. Asymmetric geography. India is the vast country of different geographic location. So we can say that the working age ratio is likely to be concentrated in some of India's poorest states, just like Bihar, just like UP. So this demographic dividend will be fully realized only if India is able to create gainful employment opportunity for the working age population. Issue of tilted sex ratio. Declining female labor force participation, according to the data from the International Labour Organization and World Bank, it shows that India's female labor force participation is less. Rates have fallen in last decade. It means men are getting more jobs as compared to their women. Without women participation, India cannot dream a reaping of demographic dividend, because in working age population, there will be the more contribution of the women also. So if we not think about the development of the women, we are not able to utilize the full potential of this demographic dividend. Now the third question is, how India can overcome the challenges to utilize the demographic dividend in India. Demographic dividend has historically contributed up to 15% of the overall growth in advanced economies. In terms of country, if we see, Japan has among the first major economies to experience rapid growth because of changing population structure. Because it has achieved the demographic dividend much before the India, China and Korea. The country's demographic dividend phase lasted from 1964 to 2004. Between 1964 to 2004, much before India. So now what we can do to utilize this demographic dividend in India? The first one is better economic growth. If we give the better economic growth, then this better economic growth increase the economic activities due to higher work age population and lower dependent population. It will channelize in the following ways. First one, increase labor force. If we give the better economic growth, then it will increase the labor force. It will increase the fiscal space created by demographic dividend to divert resources from spending on children to investing in physical and human infrastructure. For example, the person have a children, but according to this demographic dividend, the person who is in the age of 15 to 59, then we know that it is called the working age population. So the dependency on children's expenditure will reduce, and this amount can be utilized to invest in physical and human infrastructure. The next is rise in women's workforce that naturally accompanies a decline in fertility and which can be new source of growth. For example, if the women will work and women will get employment, then it will contribute towards the declining infertility of the women, because they have some amount to spend on their health, on their education, and the health and education standard of women will increase, then definitely the demographic dividend is going to be very successful. Increasing saving rates, the amount which you are not spending on the non-working population, then it is definitely giving you some push for the increasing in saving rates. So a massive shift towards the middle class society, that is rise of aspirational class. Working age population will increase, then it will also give the push to the rise of aspirational class. Now, if we talk about the infrastructure, rapid industrialization and urbanization, and effective policy making, we will see increased fiscal space created by the demographic dividend enables the government to divert resources from spending on chivalry to the human infrastructure. You need not to create more schools than in place of creating more schools, you are able to use this amount for infrastructure development, for creating mega textile parks, for creating IT hubs, for increasing the exporting potential of India, highway, ports. Then all these infrastructure is going to create job growth, is going to give opportunities for the employment to the working age population. Rapid industrialization and urbanization, because of higher number of employment seeking population, that would force higher economic activities. Effective policy making, it is the most important part. We have to fine tuning the planning and implementation of the schemes and program by factoring in population by dynamic is likely to yield to a greater socio-economic impact and larger benefits to the people. I will show you that if a government has launched a scheme on health for say women, and government is want to implement this scheme in rural area, then what the government should done, that by how the government is going to implement this scheme in rural area with the help of ASHA workers. So on one side you are creating a sound health system for India, and in second part you are creating the job opportunities for the rural women. So these types of fine tuning in policy implementation is required to fully utilize this demographic dividend. Now the fourth question is, there is disparity amongst the various states for the utilization of the demographic dividend. We know that India is a very big country with different geographical location and factors. For example, in Himachal Pradesh, geography is different as compared to the Tamil Nadu. So this disparity amongst the various states for the utilization of demographic dividend is creating a problem. Bihar has the population which is working on agriculture sector, and in Gujarat we can say that in Gujarat the working population is for industry. So in Bihar there is much more agricultural labor, and in Gujarat there is much more industrial worker. So this difference can also be seen here. So now, since India's population is heterogeneous, the window of demographic dividend becomes available at different times in different states. For example, Kerala's population is already aging, and in Bihar the working age cohort is predicted to be continue increasing till 2015. We can say that we have already achieved demographic dividend peak in Kerala, but in Bihar this demographic graph is looking like this, and this will continuously increase till 2051. Now by 2031 the overall size of our vast economic population would have been declined in 11 of the 22 major states. 11 has already acquired peak in demographic dividend. So this is the huge disparity. The government has think accordingly to utilize the potential of this demographic dividend. A distinct feature in India is the large heterogeneity among the states in their demographic profile evaluation. I have already told you about this. For example, there is clear divide between the peninsular India like West Bengal, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh, where working age to non-working age population ratio will be peak early. It will come peak as compared to the hinterland states like Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The divide in the working age to non-working ratio of the peninsular India and the hinterland state is because of the difference in their level of total fertility rate. Yes, this data is very important. If you compare the TFR of these states, then Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Andhra Pradesh has better TFR as compared to the Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. So this is the region between the region for disparity among the various states for the utilization of demographic dividend. So demographically, there are two Indias with different policy concerns as soon as to begin aging in India, where the elderly and their needs will require greater attention. Just before this slide, I have talked about the two different India. Now government has to think about the different policy concern for the different states. A young India where providing education skills, employment opportunities must be focused. Of course, heterogeneity within India offered to the advantage of addressing some of these concerns via greater labor mobility, which would in effect reduce this demographic imbalance. So this was the disparity between the states because their aging populations are different, their geography is different, their location is different. So government has to think to take care different policy concern, different measures to tackle, to utilize this demographic dividend in different states. So these were all 4 questions based upon the demographic dividend. I will come up with the more videos related to issues in India.